Scroll, react, forget. That's our new religion. The more mindless you are, the more the system rewards you. Intelligence isn't dying naturally, it's being murdered in plain sight. There was a time when truth stood above everything, emotions, opinions, and social comfort. But somewhere along the way, we flipped the hierarchy. We entered an age where emotions became the new gods, and truth was forced to kneel. Today, people don't ask, is it true? They ask, does it offend me? The modern mind has become fragile, so fragile that facts are treated like weapons, and intelligence like arrogance. We reward those who make us feel good, not those who make us think. It's not that we've become less capable of understanding, it's that we've stopped wanting to. In this new world, the loudest emotion wins. Anger spreads faster than logic. Outrage travels farther than wisdom. Every debate has turned into a shouting match. Every disagreement into a moral crisis. Truth no longer survives, because truth doesn't trend. The intelligent voice, calm, measured, reflective, is drowned out by the roar of emotional mobs, who confuse volume with value. And the sad part, we built a system that rewards this. Social media has trained us to react instantly, to feel first and think later. The more dramatic our response, the more validation we receive. So people stopped listening to understand. They listen only to reply, to defend their feelings, to protect their ego from anything that challenges it. We've become allergic to discomfort. When someone presents an idea that questions our worldview, instead of reflecting, we cancel. Instead of debating, we attack. The pursuit of truth has been replaced by the pursuit of emotional safety. And in that process, intelligence suffocates, slowly, silently. A society that values comfort over clarity will always destroy its thinkers, because thinking demands friction. It demands doubt, humility, and the courage to be wrong. But we've built a culture where being wrong is unforgivable, where intellectual humility is mocked as weakness. So people stop questioning, they stop exploring, they stop thinking. Even education, once meant to sharpen the mind, now fears controversy. Teachers are walking on eggshells. Students are told what to think instead of how to think. We've mistaken intellectual conformity for progress. And so we raise generations that are emotionally loud, but mentally quiet, full of opinions, yet empty of understanding. It's no wonder then that stupidity feels empowering, ignorance feels righteous, because it's easy. It doesn't ask you to wrestle with complexity. It just asks you to feel strongly and shout loudly. And that's exactly what the system wants. People who react, not reflect. We are living in a time when the truth must disguise itself as entertainment, to be heard. You can't simply speak facts anymore. You have to make them palatable, poetic, emotional. Otherwise people scroll past them. The truth has to beg for attention in a marketplace ruled by feelings. And every time it loses that battle, intelligence dies a little more. The tragedy is not that people are less intelligent today. It's that intelligence no longer has a place to breathe. The thinkers have not disappeared. They've been silenced by the noise. Society has not killed intelligence with ignorance, but with emotion, weaponized, amplified, and rewarded. We no longer ask, what is true? We ask, whose side are you on? And that single shift is how intelligence began to die. We once believed that technology would make us smarter, that unlimited access to information would lead to unlimited growth. But what we never realized was that information without depth isn't knowledge, it's noise. And in this digital storm of endless scrolling, notifications and dopamine hits, the mind has stopped thinking and started reacting. The internet was meant to connect us, but it ended up programming us. The age of enlightenment gave way to the age of algorithms. Every swipe, every like, every share has become part of a system that doesn't reward intelligence, it rewards attention. The digital world doesn't care if something is true, it only cares if it keeps you hooked. The algorithm doesn't understand wisdom, it only measures engagement. The result, the more shallow, emotional, and outrageous the content, the more the system amplifies it. We don't seek information anymore, we're fed it. Curiosity used to be a journey, now it's a feed. Social media has quietly replaced the teacher, the philosopher, the thinker. It tells you what to believe before you've even had a chance to ask why. It shows you what's popular, not what's important. And little by little, the mind adapts. We stop questioning. We stop thinking critically. We start mistaking visibility for value and virality for truth. The digital world isn't destroying intelligence by accident. It's doing it by design. Because intelligence slows things down, and the system needs you to move fast. It needs you to scroll, not to stop. It needs you to react, not to reflect. Think about it. When was the last time you read something deeply, really sat with an idea without distractions, without checking your phone? We've been trained to consume knowledge in fragments, tweets, captions, sound bites. Our attention span has become so short that even wisdom must be compressed into a few seconds or it's lost forever. We've built an economy of attention, and in it stupidity sells better than intelligence ever could. The problem is not that people are uninformed, it's that they are misinformed and overconfident. A generation raised on headlines believes it understands the world, when all it's seen are pixels of reality. We think we're smarter because we can Google anything. But searching is not the same as understanding. We've confused access with wisdom, speed with comprehension. The internet has made everything available, yet made nothing meaningful. The irony is painful. We've never had more information, yet we've never been more disconnected from truth. The digital world thrives on division, because division drives engagement. Outrage keeps you scrolling, conflict keeps you commenting, and the system keeps feeding you more of the same. Each of us lives inside a bubble built by algorithms that mirror our beliefs, reinforce our biases, and slowly disconnect us from reality. It feels safe, it feels comfortable, but that comfort is the coffin of intelligence. The thinkers, the readers, the quiet observers, they're vanishing from the mainstream. They still exist, but they're buried under layers of noise, drowned out by the constant need for attention. The world doesn't want depth anymore. It wants distraction. And in this endless carnival of entertainment, we've traded our ability to think for the convenience of being told what to think. We used to look at screens to learn. Now, we look at screens to escape. The digital age promised evolution, but what it delivered was addiction. We're not thinking anymore, we're scrolling through thoughts that aren't even ours. Intelligence hasn't died naturally. It's been suffocated by the algorithms we created. The world didn't become stupid overnight. It was slowly rewired, click by click, scroll by scroll, until the machine became the mind. There was a time when wisdom guided civilizations. The thinkers, the philosophers, the scholars, they were the torchbearers of progress. People sought guidance from minds that could see beyond the moment, beyond emotion, beyond the noise. But today, we don't look up to the wise, we look up to the visible. Popularity has become the new form of intelligence. Whoever captures attention, captures authority. And in that dangerous exchange, society traded wisdom for entertainment and truth for trend. We now live in a world where the influencer has replaced the philosopher. The voice that shouts the loudest drowns out the one that thinks the deepest. It's no longer about what is being said, but about how many people are watching. The measure of worth has shifted, not from insight, not from integrity, but from influence. You don't need understanding to lead anymore. You just need engagement. You don't need ideas that change the world. You just need a persona that keeps people watching. And that's how intelligence quietly died. Not through censorship or destruction, but through distraction. We've become addicted to charisma over character. The digital world rewards charm, not content. People follow personalities, not principles. The wise used to speak less, but think more. Now people speak constantly and think rarely. We no longer value silence, reflection, or depth. We value performance. Everything has turned into a show. Even truth must now come with good lighting and catchy music to be heard. What was once sacred, the pursuit of knowledge, has become another form of spectacle. Our heroes used to be thinkers who questioned reality. Now our heroes are entertainers who escape it. And the most tragic part, the crowd no longer notices the difference. We've blurred the line between being known and being knowledgeable, between being admired and being wise. People crave followers, not understanding. They want validation, not virtue. And slowly society starts to reflect the people it celebrates. When we glorify the shallow, we raise generations that fear depth. When we reward noise, we silence wisdom. It's not that intelligence disappeared, it just stopped being profitable. There's no algorithm for reflection, no trend for humility, no viral format for philosophy. So the thinkers retreat into the margins, and the masses follow the spectacle. Wisdom, which once shaped nations, now struggles to survive in 15-second clips. The philosopher used to ask, "What is truth?" The influencer asks, "What's trending?" And we wonder why the world feels more confused, more emotional, more lost. The most dangerous illusion of this age is mistaking visibility for value. Just because someone is seen by millions doesn't mean they have anything meaningful to say, but we've been conditioned to equate reach with relevance. So we follow the ones who make us feel, not the ones who make us think. We've created an echo chamber where intelligence feels out of place, too slow, too quiet, too demanding for a world that lives on speed and simplicity. The old world used to honor those who built their minds. The new world honors those who build their brands. Wisdom used to be earned through experience and discipline. Now it's simulated through filters and confidence. We've forgotten that the purpose of knowledge isn't to impress others, it's to understand ourselves. But in the pursuit of being noticed, we've lost the desire to truly know anything. And so, as society celebrates the performer and silences the thinker, one truth remains undeniable. We didn't just stop listening to the wise, we stopped recognizing them altogether. There was a time when thinking was sacred, when people would sit in silence, wrestle with ideas, and allow time to carve understanding into their minds. But now, silence feels unbearable. Stillness feels like punishment. We live in an age that worships speed, fast thoughts, fast answers, fast everything. We no longer think to understand, we think to respond. The art of reflection, the patience of contemplation, both have vanished into the noise of constant stimulation. We have killed depth in our desperate pursuit of convenience. Every moment is filled with distraction. Our phones buzz before we can finish a thought. Notifications pull us away before an idea can fully form. The mind, once capable of exploring vast landscapes of imagination, now wanders only as far as the next scroll. The modern individual doesn't sit with a question, they Google it. We don't seek meaning, we seek shortcuts to meaning. And the problem is that shortcuts never lead to wisdom, they only lead to repetition. We keep consuming the same recycled thoughts, mistaking information for insight. The tragedy is that comfort has become the enemy of growth. Thinking deeply requires discomfort. It forces us to confront uncertainty, to challenge our own assumptions. But we've built a culture that avoids discomfort at all costs. We want answers that fit neatly into a caption, truths that don't disturb our peace. And so depth fades, curiosity fades. The very qualities that once defined intelligence, patience, skepticism, wonder, are replaced by a constant hunger for stimulation. Our ancestors sat under the stars and questioned existence. We sit under fluorescent screens and question algorithms. The mind that once stretched itself toward philosophy, art, and meaning, now contracts under the weight of endless entertainment. The tragedy isn't that people don't want to think, it's that they've forgotten what real thinking feels like. Reflection has become foreign. The attention span has become fragile. We fill silence with noise because silence forces us to face ourselves, and most people don't like what they see there. Deep thinking demands solitude, and solitude has become something we fear. We call it loneliness, when in truth, it's the birthplace of every great idea humanity ever had. Every breakthrough, every philosophy, every revelation came from someone who dared to be alone long enough to listen to their own thoughts. But now, being alone feels wrong. We've built a world that keeps us endlessly connected, yet profoundly detached from our own minds. We escape into screens because it's easier than facing the emptiness within. But that emptiness, that quiet, is where intelligence once lived. Even our creativity has been domesticated. Ideas are no longer born from silence. They're manufactured by trends. People don't imagine, they imitate. They don't create, they copy. Everything is optimized, polished and processed, until nothing real remains. We've turned thinking into content, wisdom into quotes, and reflection into algorithms. We've become a society that prefers illusion over insight, a civilization of busy minds that rarely stop long enough to truly see. We used to build cathedrals of thought. Now we build towers of distraction. We used to seek truth in books. Now we seek comfort in screens. The modern human has all the tools to become wise, but none of the patience to use them. And that's how we lost the very essence of what made us intelligent in the first place. The ability to pause, to wonder, to question. In our quest for convenience, we've killed the depth that once defined the human spirit. And in doing so, we didn't just lose wisdom, we lost ourselves. Maybe intelligence isn't dead. Maybe it's waiting for those who refuse to be distracted, who still choose depth over dopamine, truth over trend, and silence over noise. The age of idiocy can end the moment we start thinking again.